here we go. All right, we're recording, and we count it down in 3, 2, 1.
You know, I've realized through all this that I'm just too old to be chasing young hot tail.
And who killed the world?
The morning stream. He's taking a dump in a can.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to TMS. It is the morning stream. You probably knew that. Today is April 30th, or May 30th, rather. We're done with April. May 30th.
Oh, you get the year right.
Yeah, got the day wrong. We only got one more though, so May is done basically.
One more May.
Yeah.
It's gonna be May.
I got this
30th tomorrow, 31st tomorrow.
I went to check on my iPad Pro order, and it says will ship sometime between, or it'll arrive between the 31st of May and June 7th or 11th or something. And that's fine. That's what it said the whole time. But normally they're either on time with the day or they're early. That's one of my experiences with Apple stuff. They usually are early. I go check it today and it's like, we'll still arrive between the 31st and the 11th. I'm like, tomorrow's the 31st. I don't think it's going to get here.
You have not gotten we've shipped your order. You might get it today, right? Because sometimes if it's coming from the U.S. and not coming from China, then you get the notification like the afternoon before you receive it, the afternoon before the day that you receive it. So you might still get something this afternoon that says, we've shipped your order. It's coming from Cupertino, and it's going to arrive tomorrow sometime between blah, blah, blah.
I have had times where that's happened. So it's entirely possible that I get it tomorrow or even earlier. But chances are no. And it's not that it's, look, my current setup, I have some commission art I have to do and some other things. It works fine. But I feel like you know how that is when you know something newer's coming and you're just like,
yes, absolutely. It's like as soon as you know that there's a newer version, whatever it is, doesn't even have to be Apple. As soon as you know that there's a newer version, it's like there's like a little gray cloud that hangs over your existing device, whatever it is.
Yeah, so, it's like when I play, I can't play old consoles. I mean, I can when they're really old. Like I like to fire up a Super Nintendo or something. But in the day so when the N64 came out, I was like, I cannot touch my SNES. Get out of here.
There's a sphere of influence, right? So if it's like, anytime the year after a new console has been released, those things are going to feel crappy and shitty. But if it's like 10 years, it's like, I'm going vintage. I'm playing me some Duck Hunt on NES. Woo!
Yeah, once it's vintage and retro, we're all in again. But until then,
I drove a woman to the airport. Picked her up in Boulder yesterday. Drove her to the airport, and nice little $48 ride. Oh my God, it was almost enough for me to say, like, if once I get the airport ride back, it was like, this is enough for me to say, hour and a half. I'm done for the day. I don't want to do any more lifting. But she got in the car, and I have a phone charger thing on the back of the passenger seat. And she's like, oh my God, I'm so glad you have this. And then she plugs it in and is like, oh, it's not working, but it must be my phone because the one in the hotel wasn't working either. And I said, oh, yeah, just, maybe check and see if you've got any lint or anything in there. And she says, I'm going to bloat like an NES cartridge. I'm like, oh, this is going to be a fun 28-mile drive here. We're going to have some fun.
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding. $48 though. So let me understand this. It's always a distance thing. Is how they charge. How does Lyft or Uber determine what a cost of a trip is?
I think it's based on miles. It might be based on time, right? Like it might be like on a combination of the two, because there are times of day that going from two major streets that are a mile apart but kind of require you to go on the highway will take you 20 minutes versus at other times of the day when you can do it in 5, and it'll cost more for the passenger then. So it's a combination of miles and time.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, because that makes sense. If you got high traffic time, there might be a route that's less miles but more time.
Yeah.
And then the route you take instead is way less time but more miles. So they probably they probably go with whichever one is greater?
I think they go with whichever one is greater. Yeah, they basically they use, I don't know if this is still the case, but at one point they were using maps from the Department of Waste, or basically the routes that the trash trucks take to get around.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Which is why a lot of times in the early days when I was lifting, they would send me down an alley to pick somebody up. Like it would determine that was faster than going down their street.
Oh, right.
But I think it uses some sort of like, not Waze, not Google Maps, not Apple Maps, but something along those lines, basically to say, how long will this take? Or from here to here, how long will this take? And it'll base the cost on that. And for that time of day.
So sorry, these questions are.
Yeah, no. It's
like newbie questions, but when you are using, or when you're going to your destination, the Lyft app that you use, because your app's different than the rest of us, right? Like you have a more, you have access to more.
The driver app is different from the passenger app.
Okay,
yes.
so when you use that, it's telling you, it's being your Apple Maps, your Google Maps, your whatever.
It is. It's giving me the turn-by-turn directions.
Okay.
And what's cool, this is what's great about it. I've got the my phone on a little mount that sits there the whole time I'm driving, and then I have it plugged into my phone plugged into my console, so another version of the map appears on my center display, so the passenger is able to look and see, oh yeah, it's sending you down 13th. It's actually faster if you go down 12th and then make a left. It's like, oh, cool. So they can see that, and they can even see like estimated time of arrival and how many miles we still have to go and stuff like that. So it's
I wonder if they've done all their own mapping, or if they use they
use somebody's system, I'm sure, and they take half of my money for driving to pay for whatever that is.
Yeah, it sure feels like it. But I bet it's like Google, probably Google, because Google's got an API that I think you can just tap into.
Might be Google. Yeah. You do have the option when you're driving to choose actually what system it uses. So you can say, oh, I don't want to use Google, or I don't want to use Lyft's built-in thing. Give me Google Maps or give me Waze, and it'll do that. But there's some drawbacks of like it's how it lets you know that there's another ride for you to accept.
Yeah.
Because if you use the regular Lyft maps, then it's right there in your system, and when another ride comes in, you can go, oh yeah, I'll take that ride. It's going where I want to go. Or, oh no, I don't want that one. It's going down to an hour and a half away, Colorado Springs or whatever.
Yeah.
So it lets you use other people's maps, but there are big disadvantages to using those.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, see, now we got, it's a deeper look than I expected.
Yeah.
It's good to know how these things work. So next time you're in the car with your Uber or Lyft driver and you see a little phone mounted up there, now you have a better idea of what the hell they're doing.
Now you know what they're looking at, and
why they're charging you so much.
As if they have a choice. Yeah, unfortunately, it's what Lyft and Uber decide to charge.
Yeah, they set those limits, and then you just get a shitty percentage of that, and everyone wins. Well, mostly Uber and Lyft win. Speaking of driving, Jesse, our old pal Jesse, the garbage dude.
Yeah, jerky Jesse.
Jerky Jesse. We haven't had any jerky in a while, Jesse. What's going on?
We haven't, because it's gotten way more expensive for him to source the meat that he.
Stupid pandemic, or what do we blame for meat sourcing? I don't know what to blame.
We can blame Mitch McConnell. We'll blame Mitch McConnell.
Well, I believe the salted meats.
The price.
I think this should be harder for common America. Blah, blah. See, Brian's got his Trump. I've got my McConnell.
That's right. Yep, exactly.
You
don't get the hate. It's like as much as I get there's two people in the chat who like always go, no more Trump impersonation.
Yeah, you do a really good one. And if I actually think also think
Mitch McConnell looks like a turtle. We call him Mitchie. Slow Mitchie.
Well, I believe the president. Blah, 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 blah. Actually, these days you just go blank. That's a good McConnell impression.
Right, you just stare off into space. And that's great.
Mr. McConnell, what are you going to vote for this next session? He just goes, well, he just always freezes. Anyway, here's the thing from Jesse. Jesse called in. This is about parking or moving big trucks. We were talking about how Nick's trying to get his G, whatever it's called, license, and moving a big truck scares the shit out of me, but he likes it. And Jesse wrote in with this information.
Hello, Smokey and Bandit. This is Jerky Jesse calling about TMS. You were talking about the semi-trucks and how you would not be able to drive them or back them up. Well, as a guy that's got his Class A CDL license, I'll tell you this. It's so much easier backing those up than it is a boat trailer. It's ridiculous. The longer the point of pivot from where the fifth wheel is, which is the pivot point on the semi, to the rear axle, the much slower of a process it is. So a lot easier it is to control. Whereas a boat trailer will go out of control with just the slightest movements. So just figured I'd give you that heads up. Love the show, though.
Okay, so this explains when we would go to like Lake Powell, and I would see grown men spend 20 minutes just trying to re-straighten the boat.
Absolutely. I mean, that was me. Like this was back again in the Chevy Shove-It days. I had a trailer hitch, and I would take my the aforementioned sailboat that I had, which came up last week, to Carter Lake and go on the boat ramp. And no matter, I would do these little tiny movements and kind of, it's going straight. And then all of a sudden, like it would all of a sudden start going to the side and
it's like like he says, the slightest freaking tick to the left or right.
So it makes me happy that the big rigs are a little bit easier to manage. I wonder why that is. Is it because they have trailer, at least the trailers that I'm familiar with, just have the two wheels, so they're more susceptible for those turns?
Maybe the little
big rig has got,
maybe it's the shorter the that's a really good question. I don't know what the physics are there. Why is it different? There must be something about it. Nick said the same thing to me. He says, Dad, it's not that big a deal. You can actually back these in real easy. And I'm like, okay,
when he was doing Red Wing, he was driving.
He was doing that. Plus now he's doing, he's getting that license that Jesse just mentioned. And so he's
CDL.
So he's doing that every day. And I checked in with him yesterday. I said, how's it going? He goes, I don't know if this early morning stuff's going to work out. And I said, oh, really? I'm like, oh, really? The kid that I'd have to freaking scrape out of his bed to get to school on time? You're telling me you don't like mornings? Weird.
Well, what do you know? Addict 89 says, also RVs don't require anything else, and the gray hairs drive them. Yeah, I mean, they're all one unit, as opposed to, there's no hinge in the middle that you've got to worry about jackknifing.
That's right.
It's all one big beast. I wonder how I would do with those, because the turning radius on the Kia Soul, zip-zop-zoop, I'm in a parking space, whether it's backing in, forward in, parallel parking, whatever.
Yeah.
But I wonder how I would do with a Winnebago or something.
Like a big, it doesn't even have to have a trailer, just like a big RV. That just scares me. Oh my gosh. I really don't like it. There's a reason I like tiny cars, and it's because they're maneuverable. I like that they're low profile, and I like that I can park them anywhere and I don't have to think about it.
Oh, gosh, yeah. It's like, okay, great. Looks like I have to park in the furthest reaches of the parking lot because that's the only place that'll actually have room for this beast that I'm driving.
Yeah, give me a small car every time. All right, well, there's that. Thanks, Jesse, for that. Also, on the tailgating things, a lot of car stuff here.
Yeah, it's car talk. I'm click, you're clack.
Let's do it. Let's make that happen.
Yeah, tell people how to fix their differentiator.
One of those guys died, so we can bring it all back. Let's see. It's Dan wrote in. It's not our Dan, different Dan.
I mean, this is our Dan too. He's just
He's our he's one of our Dans. How about that?
One of our Dans, yeah.
There are many Dans. This one is ours. He says about that tailgating thing. Hey, Scooter and Buick.
Well, small vehicle versus a big wide boat of a vehicle.
But all you have to do is go, and I'm dead in the scooter. There's no way I survive.
Right, exactly.
Hey, Scooter and Buick, just listening to episode 2469. By the way, this is 2652, so he is back a few miles on the number, unless he meant 2569. Anyway, it must be forever ago because 2469 was how many episodes?
Would be nearly 200 episodes ago.
Yeah, geez, Louises. Anyway. Yeah.
26. He probably got the 6 and the 4. 2649. That sounds about right.
Oh, he switched them. Yeah, that makes sense.
You would ask me what I do about tailgaters, and I think it was on Thursday's episode. Or
that felt more recent than 200 episodes ago. Yeah. Well, anyway, he says Ibbot was talking about tailgating and bumper stickers. You guys should totally do a run of quote keep honking unquote. I'm listening to here's more quote. Keep honking. I'm listening to the morning stream /Coverville podcast stickers. Then tadpoolers can stick them to the Road-Ragey Dicknose behind them, and maybe spread the word so you guys get a bump in the angry pickup driver demographic.
Love it.
Love the show, though, Dan. It's a little long, a little wordy.
It's a little wordy. Yeah.
I need more than that. I need like.
I got there. I do have Coverville bumper stickers. Should I grab one really quick?
Yeah. Do you have something handy?
Yeah.
I had one for a while too. I gave them all away. They were my. It's a wrap. It's Admiral Akbar, looking all gangster rappy. He's got like a gold chain and a hat backwards, and he's holding the mic, and he's kind of like into it, and it says, "It's a wrap," and then. It was in it's like a bit bumper sticker you'd put on the back of your car. I don't know if anyone ever got one of those, but I gave them out for a while. Oh yeah, look at that.
This is the
I couldn't tell what that ear was.
Ear. Instead of a heart, it's an ear. Ear Coverville.
Oh, I get it. I like it. Those are cool. I didn't know you had those.
I don't know why I don't bring those to TMS Vegas. I need to give these away and put them in the loot bags or something, but yeah.
Chad, are you interested in TMS bumper stickers? Because we could make a TMS bumper sticker. That could be fun.
There you go.
Y'all want one? We'll work on it. I don't know who wants one. I mean, Claire is all caps interested. So is I Am Sci-Fi.
Really?
Well, some good all caps coming in from a few people. So that means they'll take one.
All right, cool. So we'll do a run and
we'll see how it goes. And if you guys like them, maybe we'll do another run.
Get out.
Brian, if they like
Lesarge, the new Coverville shirt's coming this summer.
Oh, summer.
The ones he designed 5 years ago. Helped me design like 5 years ago.
Oh, he was part of that? That's cool.
Yes, yeah.
That's awesome.
They're great. They're based on the Coppertone logo of the dog that's pulling the little girl's bathing suit off.
Oh, yeah, I always mix it up with the Morton Salt thing. Why do I do that?
Yeah, that's just a woman who's got a yellow slicker on, and she's got an umbrella, and she's spilling salt behind her.
That's still a little kid, though, right? Or am I wrong?
Still a little kid. Yeah.
Okay. All right. You said woman. It threw me for a minute.
Oh, sorry.
What's all right? Young woman.
A young woman. Yeah, both a young woman.
You'll be a woman soon. Remember that song? Terrible song.
That's right. Terrible song.
Don't read those lyrics.
The Urge Overkill version way better
Yeah.
Than the Neil Diamond original.
Yeah. It's also creepy as hell.
It is creepy. It is kind of a little bit, yeah. Girl, you'll be 18 soon.
And when you are, I'll Jerry Seinfeld this shit.
I'll do some step bumper.
Is Jerry Seinfeld okay? What is going on? Look, I don't know. Look, I don't think a guy who, when he was 38, 39, was dating a 17-year-old, I don't think he should get a pass when he's talking about how men should be, which is a big thing he's doing right now. We're not masculine enough. I miss the days. Also, your entire career is based on being a little nebbish little weenie boy. Right? You're not like tough guy masculine man. That was Putty.
Yeah.
That was,
exactly. Yes.
That was every other character that wasn't you on Seinfeld. So
I know. Yeah.
Why? Why can't he just not? Why even talk about it? I know you're 70. He's 70. All right. He's still one of the greatest comedians of all time. Stick to that, dude.
Right. Exactly.
We don't need social commentary from a guy that's a literal billionaire. I think he crossed the billionaire mark.
Oh, easily. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you kidding? With what the syndication of Seinfeld makes? Come on, he's got to be.
Yeah. He made. I mean, whatever. I guess I shouldn't be surprised. A 70-year-old yells at the sky about how men used to be, and he misses it. It's like, dude, you dated a 17-year-old when you were almost 40.
Yeah. By the way, I did watch Unfrosted.
Yeah.
You notice I did not use it for my recommendal yesterday. I'd say, you know what? Here's the deal. It's there are elements in there that are very funny, but there's a lot of kind of grown, eye-rolling, low-hanging fruit kind of jokes. It's like, really? I don't know. That probably would have been funnier had it been more thought out, or if you went further with the joke than just taking the obvious kind of a little bit.
Yeah. It bugs me too. Thomas Chambers saying, now do Richard Dreyfuss. I don't know what that's about. What is that?
What happened with Richard Dreyfuss?
Is he in trouble for something? I hadn't heard. I don't follow the celebrity skin rag business. I just sort of
beautiful Cole.
I think I should be able to say We're gonna need a bigger
Now,
boat.
what is going on with? I heard that somebody tweeted Richard Dreyfuss, Jerry Seinfeld, Robert De Niro all said things in the last few days, but only De Niro said what needed to be said, or something like that.
Oh, I don't know. Here it is. I'm looking at it now. Richard Dreyfuss accused of going offensive rant during Jaws screening. People call it disgusting. What did he say though?
Oh shit! Really?
Just homophobic, misogynistic, something.
Dude, really?
Let's see. They don't get into specifics here, but anyway.
Let's see if this one does.
Jerry apologized for the B movie. I don't hate the B movie like people do. I think the B movie's fine. It's not great.
It's fine. Yeah,
it's just fine. It's like any number of like DreamWorks style movies, it's just sort of there, and it's fine.
Yeah. Oh, so he described his bigoted opinions on transgender kids, plus criticism of the Academy Awards having inclusivity and diversity guidelines. Oh boy.
Yeah. Well,
Dude.
have fun with that, Richard Dreyfuss. I mean,
Yeah,
these guys
great,
they're old as hell boomer types. Why do no one should be surprised, these old guys. Old guys with money. That's what they do.
Right.
You got a lot of money and a lot of time, and the world's different for you. So you say stupid shit. It's whatever.
It was funny to hear the Pope say something like, it was a joke.
Oh yeah, what was that about? He said something like
he used a slur, a homophobic slur in discussion that he claims was said as in like a joking way.
What was the word? Do we know what
it's just hard for me to even say, he jokingly used a homophobic slur. The Pope.
What did he say? Do we know what he said?
I don't know. It was off. It was not recorded or not.
Dang it! I want to hear it.
Yeah, I know.
I want to know what he said.
Imagine.
Was he just like reading lyrics from like Dire Straits' "Money for Nothing" and got to the other F word? Maybe. I don't know.
Right. Yes. Yeah. I don't know.
A little. Someone is a millionaire. I could just hear him singing.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Wow.
He's got his own jet airplane.
The little boop. Yeah. That song. Does when I assume what's his name performs that live still? Do you think he still? Do you think they dropped that?
I don't know. I don't know if Knopfler. I don't even know if Knopfler performs that song live. That'd be interesting. I bet we could find out. Actually, let's see. Setlist.fm.
Yeah.
Let's look for the most recent Knopfler concert.
Yeah.
I hope he doesn't, because that song's just meh.
Yeah, it's not even the best song on that album.
Last concert from Knopfler was November of 2019, so he hasn't done anything since the pandemic. His set list was Tunnel of Love, great song, fantastic song. Let's remember Tunnel of Love before we think about I Want My MTV, whatever that's called, Money for Nothing.
Yeah.
Big Rock Candy Mountain, a cover of the Burl Live song.
Oh, I love that song. Yeah.
The Hole in the Ground, I don't know that one. Sailing to Philadelphia, his
great song.
Go Love, this one I don't know. And Matchstick Man, which is not a cover of the song that Status Quo covered. Who was it? Donovan earlier? Pictures of Matchstick Man. No, it wasn't. It was Dinosaur. No, it was the guy from Cracker.
I don't know that one.
Camper Van Beethoven did a cover of it. Status Quo maybe did the original of that song.
Yeah. Sultans of Swing, infinitely better than Money for Nothing. Therese Travis says, I agree. It's a great song.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Listen, you go to the entire. Okay, so we talked about albums, right? And we talked. I got you to listen to "The Stranger" by Billy Joel.
Mm-hmm.
Next, go listen to "Making Movies" by Dire Straits.
Okay.
That front to back, stellar album. Stellar.
Making a note. Making Movies by Dire Straits. All right.
See, I'm assembling my best albums or favorite albums list. Let me make sure that one's on there. I won't tell people why I'm doing it just yet, but
you got a little something.
We got a little project going on.
Ooh, a little something.
Yep.
Excellent. Well, all right. That's fantastic. Also, a little thing I learned yesterday. Kim called me from the road. They've been driving, as you know, doing a road trip across the country.
Doing a road trip. Yeah.
They were in 11 states in 2 days or something.
Wow.
Or 3 days, whatever it was. And they were passing. She didn't know this, and I didn't either. But when you go to the state line or through the state line from Tennessee to Arkansas, the state line is right in the middle of the river, right in the middle of the Mississippi. There's like a gate there. They have a bridge, and they have a gate that is the dividing line. And I've never seen that before. That's pretty cool.
And you've got a couple big. Oh no, you know what I'm thinking of? I'm thinking of Kentucky and Tennessee. You've got on either side of the river 2 big cities. I'm trying to remember what.
Oh right, I know that one too. But
I
can't
flew
remember.
into one to go to the newspaper for the other kind of thing.
Feels like a lot of timey times, like maybe 1800s or whatever. People were trying to create these dividing lines with waterways. It's like, well, we got this river, may as well make that the line,
Right.
between our two states.
And our two states want to share that river, so the line has to be in the middle, so that both sides get some of that river.
Yeah, pretty cool though. She says she what did she say? She said something about somewhere that she thought was amazing. Can't remember what it was. I was going to give a shout out to the people there, and I can't remember it. Anyway, She was in Nashville for a bit. No, not Nashville. Memphis, and got a T-shirt and I said, why are you getting a T-shirt of Memphis? She says, because I was born here. And then I went, oh, right. She was born in Memphis.
Oh, really? I don't know why I just assumed. I know she was from Louisiana. I just assumed she was born in Louisiana.
Well, she's from, so she technically, Mississippi is entirely where she grew up.
That's right. Not in Louisiana.
Yeah. But she was born there because they like the hospitals there better than where they lived on the coast of Mississippi. It's gotten better since then, but that's why they did it. They went up there, pooped her out in the, it's a bad way of saying it, had the baby in Memphis and then came back. Memphis is interesting because, America's like this, a lot of parts of the world, but like New York is, it's based on York. Memphis is an old Egyptian city.
Is it really? Okay,
yeah,
didn't know that.
Same with Athens being a Greek.
Athens, Georgia, and
right. So you have all these names that we
Frankfort, Kentucky, and Versailles.
Yeah, nobody ever hears Memphis and goes. They always think country music and this and that in the South and whatever. But I'm playing Assassin's Creed Origin a little bit, and I'm in the city of Memphis, and I'm like, yeah, that's right. This is OG Memphis. Like, people forget it's named after like this ancient civilization. I think we should have more of that shit. More towns should be named after really old stuff. That's it.
So as we develop some land out in kind of the spaces around like Wyoming or something.
Yeah.
Go look to, the ancient either Egypt or Greece or whatever and come up with your city name there.
Yeah, because you got like Paris, Texas. You got like, I don't know. There's others. I can't think of any now. Utah's lame because all our stuff's like made up internally. It was all like early,
it's more east of the Mississippi that you've got these towns that are like that.
I want to get what's the Irish one?
There's a Dublin, Ohio.
Oh yeah, Dublin, Ohio. Isn't there like a Cork? There's like a Cork somewhere out here.
Sure.
Salt Lake City? No, that's
you really want to push that Cork is what you're doing. Like
gotta push the Cork.
Yesterday, or whatever it was that you were trying to remember Cork, and you're calling it Bolt and Bonk and
Bolt, whatever. I could go for Bolt. That'd be fine. Let's do that. Anyway, so there's that little update from Kim. Let's get into some news. Let's tell people what happened while they were asleep.
Hello, Smokey and
Whoops, that's the wrong one right there. It's time for the news brought to you by
Coverville today at noon, 12 p.m. Mountain Time, twitch.tv/Coverville. The music of Lenny Kravitz. The dude is turning 60 or turned 60 this week.
Jeez.
And so you're going to have covers of things like Fly Away, It Ain't Over Till It's Over, Are You Going to Go My Way, Let Love Rule, Always on the Run. Like, all the big hits by Lenny Kravitz covered by other people, as well as a cover he did with Mick Jagger. What? And another cover he did of Smokey Robinson and the Miracles. What? You got to listen to that as well to find out what we're talking about. That's going to be at twitch.tv/Coverville at noon. And I'll be playing a Werewolf by Night deck in Marvel Snap today.
Nice. That guy looks like he's permanently around 19 or 20.
No kidding.
He's ripped.
He looks great. Yeah.
His daughter got picked up by a polecat in Mad Max Fury Road and pulled into the other car. She's so good now.
Timer.
She is a really great one of the wives.
Mothers.
Yeah. She's a great wife. The many mothers are the old ladies, but
oh, that's true. Right. Yes.
I went down the biggest, deepest hole yesterday because the new movie goes way deeper into how people keep track of history. As you know, I won't get into details because someone somewhere will think that's a spoiler. But I'd forgotten at the end of this movie, there's a whole slogan there, and then it says it was written by the first history man.
Yeah, I saw you share that post somewhere. Yes.
And then I wanted to know more, so I started digging around, and the old lady in Fury Road that's back at the Citadel, named Kitty, who he's all pissed with because she helped them escape. So he runs, "Where are they?" And she's like,
yes,
"They've run away. You've destroyed the world." Whatever, that lady. And then she's around later in the car, and she's written all over. She's got tattoos just covering her entire body.
Oh,
and I love it.
Remember that? Okay,
I love it because that shit's like their archivists.
Yeah, exactly. Who needs bookshelves when you've got people?
Yeah,
people and tattoos.
I love that kind of thing. All right, here is a story. Most of the 15 million bees contained after a bee-laden truck crashed. They got most of the bees back, is the point. This truck full of bees crashed, and they all went, and then they got them all back. I don't know how you do that, but that's
I remember when we caught Osama bee-laden.
Oh, I know, right? Oh, that guy was hard to catch. All the other bees, it was hard to tell them apart. He had the turban and the beard. That helped.
Bee-laden. Love it.
Bee-laden.
My gosh, how do you go? Most of them have been contained. So somebody's counted and determined that they've gotten most of the 15 million bees that were released from this truck.
Yeah, like bee counters versus, they're like bean counters, but without the N and a better spelling. Anyway, tractor trailer.
Flying. 1, 2, 3. Quit flying. 1, 2, 3. 4.
Hold still, you little bastard. Tractor trailer hauling about 15 million honeybees to be used to pollinate blueberry fields crashed and overturned on Interstate 95. That's interesting. Do we do that a lot? We move bees around to pollinate areas? I didn't know that was a thing.
No, I didn't realize that. Yeah.
I thought that just happened naturally. I guess if you have to force it because it's not happening naturally. I don't know.
I guess so. Yeah, if in areas because of drought or whatever, the bees have kind of gone away, and then once you've got new flora for them to pollinate, you got to do something to bring them back.
That makes sense. Yeah, I guess I get that. Driver was taken to the hospital as a precaution. The night while first responders worked to ensure safety of the bees that were in the hive strapped to the trailer, which landed on its side. The bees were mostly contained, and the goal was to save them, says Shannon Moss, state police spokesman. First responders didn't realize the cargo was bees until firefighters went down an embankment to check for leaking fluids, make sure there's not fuel everywhere. They learned the hard way. The guys did get stung on a regular basis. Everyone got stung at least a couple of times, says Leary, who suffered several bee stings. The temperature in the 40s may have kept the bees from getting rowdier during the several hours it took to get the truck upright and removed the truck from the road. A beekeeper was summoned to corral the bees. He was summoned. I like that.
Summoned. Get the beekeeper!
Therefore, it's like he comes out of a big platform or something. Like, what do you mean summon? That's a weird way of saying
summon the beekeeper. Wasn't that was the movie? Wasn't Statham the beekeeper in the movie last year?
Yeah, I think called Beekeeper or something. Yeah. Was that any good? Did anyone see that?
It was good. I saw that in theaters and it was good, but it was like every other Statham, I'm going to get revenge on the guys that messed you up kind of movie.
Was it like a John Wick with bees sort of thing?
Kind of, yeah. Basically, he went after identity theft.
Wow.
Like, he was hitting up identity theft centers where people were like preying on the elderly and getting their credit card information. It's like I guess we're done with the overseas terrorists and stuff like that. Nope, it's now we've moved on to I'm hitting up telemarketers next.
I mean, I wouldn't discourage a guy with a shitload of bees from getting revenge for some of the crappy ways we treat each other in the corporate world.
Absolutely. No, and he's, there is nothing about this movie that you feel like this is so totally different from anything I've seen Jason Statham do before. But that's good. That's
Yeah,
what you want.
That is what you want. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that. So, Jason, keep it up. We appreciate it. I'm glad you stopped being a swimmer diver and became an actor. Nice job.
Was he really? He was a swimmer diver.
He was. Well, he was a diver. I don't know about like Olympic level or anything.
Diving, because you can't just dive and then walk out.
Well, so that's true. But I think the competition stuff was diving for him.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I think there's. Oh, I got a great picture. Hold on. You got to see this diving. Jason Statham diving career Olympics.com. Was he in the Olympics? He might have been.
Was he really? That's awesome. Jeez.
Yeah, he's oh, here you go. Yeah, you got to see this. So this is before he had massive hair loss.
Yeah.
He was young. Hold on. Come on, Scott. Where's the damn link? Here we go. Putting it in Discord.
Okay.
Here you go, chat room.
You share it with the Tadpool, and I'll mute mine so that I can hear your audio. If you
there it is. Oh, there's no audio.
Just
a picture.
Photo. Wow, look at that.
Yep.
Jeez.
He's ripped. Well, he's ripped. Still ripped, but yeah, he was like pro diver. I don't know if he won anything. That's the part I can't find. He may have been like a let's see. Watch rare footage of Statham as a diver. I don't want that. Where is it? I can't find it, but I thought he won something or did okay in one of the Olympics or something like that. Anyway, now he kills people with bees. So
nice. Well, that's what he's got to do. By the way, I love TRPW. Your music pulls are great. I'm not sure about the Whitney Houston. How will I know what you know about bee stings? That one's rough, but I do like Beekeeper. One just stung me, yeah.
That's not bad. Is he submitting these as titles or something? Is that what?
Yeah, he's submitting these as titles. Yeah.
Well, good job, TRPW. You may win today. I don't know.
You may.
Well, anyway, good luck to those bees. Here's another story about the Mexican government. They say the arm of a 19th century mummy came off after mishandling it by the museum staff. Oh boy, this is bad news. Mexico's Federal Archaeology Agency on Monday accused the conservative governed city of how would you say this?
Guanajuato. Yes.
Of mistreating one of its country's famous mummified 19th century bodies. The National Institute of Anthropology and History, or the INAH, said that during recent innovations or renovations at the museum, can't say words, where mummified bodies are on
driving right off that road.
Gosh, no kidding. Mummified bodies are on permanent display. One arm of one of these mummies just freaking came off.
Oh,
just went plunk,
you know what happened? Like, they're moving it broke off, and they're like, see if you can get it to kind of stick back on the shoulder there, and then they put it back, and then the blue tack fell off. Like, while people are looking at it, is that what happened? It'd be great if
it would be great. Yeah,
watching the display, and then all of a sudden the arm falls off.
And then when the supervisors come in, Hector's like licking it and then just trying to stick it on there. Oh, it keeps falling off. It's not going to stay. Put it behind your back. Pretend you didn't do it. Anyway, this is something from the 1800s. It was dug up starting in the 1860s, and it's something to do with families who could no longer pay their burial fees. So there's a lot of corpses that are sort of like shallow graves. You can find them, and they're that old. Anyway, let's see. Skip all that. Don't care about that. Here we go. What appears to be the root of the latest dispute is a turf battle between the INAH, as I've mentioned before, which believes it has jurisdiction over the mummies because it says they are, quote, national patrimony. I don't know what that means.
So, fathers of our civilization?
Is that what they mean?
Like, that's how I would get, because, patra is the...
Yeah, like patriarch.
Or Latin of
patrimony.
National patrimony.
Because matrimony is marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Patrimony, I don't know. Yeah,
I don't know. I'm looking it up right now because I don't know that. I've never heard that word. Property inherited from one's father or male ancestor. So, yeah. So
interesting.
National father's inheritance, basically.
Well, they consider it a tourist attraction. The state and city are governed by the Conservative National Action Party, which the Morena Party is what it's called, which holds power at the federal level. They consider that group their arch enemy.
Ooh, I love arch enemies.
Yeah, there's your movie right there. Get your bees out, Jason Statham. It's time to go solve another mystery. Well, Well, anyway.
That's right. All right, just bring Nicolas Cage on to solve this national mummy treasure.
Yeah,
We got ourselves a national treasure emergency in Mexico.
He lost an arm. We got to go get the arm.
I sound more like the Andy Samberg version of Nicolas Cage than the actual Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, you got a little Joe Biden going there. A little bit.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. All right. Here's a story I like. Sam Butcher, artist who created the Precious Moments figurines. Remember those?
I do. I also loved him on the Brady Bunch, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sam the Butcher.
His middle name is the.
Yeah.
It should be.
Sam T. Butcher dated Alice.
Sam T. Butcher, yep.
Alice was only like 41 in that show.
Yeah, she's Colorado. Ann B. Davis, local Coloradoan.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool. She's still around, or she probably not.
She passed.
She was 41 in the 70s. She's probably.
Yeah, she died in 2014.
Okay, not that long ago.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, Sam Butcher, the artist who created the Precious Moments figures my grandma used to collect. These are these little angelic, teardrop-eyed children that were just like always praying, or they had a little flower or whatever shit they did. They were these annoying little things.
They're the ones that got depicted in the cartoons that were love is ... right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you had whatever Hobby Lobby stick that decal on my wall for all family to come over and see kind of sayings.
Kinda, yeah. Very much your grandma.
Yeah.
Not yours in particular, but a grandma. The company said on a Facebook post that this dude died early Monday, surrounded by his family. They beat him to death with special moments, or whatever they're called, precious moments.
They beat him to death with.
We've had him with these, Grandpa.
Greeting cards. Yeah.
It says it was his life's mission to, quote, share God's gift of love with the world. No details about his cause of death were provided. Some of the Christian-themed figurines feature Bible verses and children playing. Fans have collections numbering in the hundreds, while critics deride them as kitsch.
Mm-hmm.
I would deride them as kitsch.
Yeah.
They're cheesy.
Critics includes 99% of civilization deriding them as kitsch.
I'm sure that
this guy's last name is Butcher.
Yeah, Butcher, Sam Butcher. Wait, what's the name of the guy in The
Boys?
The Boys. Something Butcher.
Billy the Butcher.
Billy Butcher, that's it.
Yeah, but he's not. I don't think his last name is Butcher. He's just Billy the Butcher. Right?
Oh, I thought it was. No.
Is it?
I thought it was just Billy Butcher, but I could be wrong.
I'm going to look it up now.
William J. Butcher or Billy the Butcher. I guess it's both.
There you go. All right. So he is there it is. William J. Butcher. Okay.
It's both things.
I just assumed that it was just the nickname Butcher that he got, but
Comics like doing that. They like to.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
Give people names that are what's a good Marvel one?
It's just funny that they would say Billy the Butcher when his last name is Butcher. It's just Billy Butcher then.
Yeah, I would have just said Billy
Smokey
Butcher.
Bear.
But what's a good Marvel one? What's a Marvel one where the name is so obvious that it's
Otto Octavius.
There you go. That's one right there.
Yeah, that's one right there. Exactly.
Those crack me up, dude. I love that.
There's no chance he's going to become anything but something octopus related.
Yeah,
right?
Just no other way around it.
Oh yeah, Victor Von Doom, another good one. Dr. Calhoun. Yeah.
Victor Von Doom.
Victor Von Doom.
That's so stupid. Victor Freeze. That's another one.
Yeah.
It's not spelled freeze though, right? It's like freeze.
F-R-I-E-S or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah. It's so dumb.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to. Well, yeah, we got time for this.
Edward Batman.
Batman. Yeah.
Edward Batman. Yeah. That's a bad one.
Bill Batman.
Larry Superman.
Yeah, Larry Superman. By day, I'm Larry Superman. Franklin Joker. Nice one. All right. Workers removed dozens of apparent marijuana plants from Wisconsin Capitol Tulip Garden. So the capital of the state.
Oh, nice.
Someone snuck in there, planted a bunch of weed.
In the Madison the Madison garden thing. I love it.
The governor's tulip garden. I freaking love this kind of stuff. Someone's plans to harvest dozens of apparent marijuana plants grown at the Wisconsin State Capitol grounds have gone up in smoke. The plants sprouted in the tulip garden outside the Capitol is where these things are. Tatiana Warwick, a spokesman for the State Department Administration, told Associated Press in an email Friday that workers had removed the plants, but her agency could not determine if they were marijuana or hemp. Both are forms of cannabis, but only marijuana has the compound that gets people high. You might call it THC. Or sometimes I call it, accidentally, HTC, which is a different thing. They make VR headsets and things. And phones.
Yeah.
I don't know why I do that. Anyway, University of Wisconsin-Madison botanist Shelby Ellison, who examined the plants for the station before they were removed, told the station that they were cannabis plants. But she told the Associated Press on Friday that she couldn't say for certain if it was marijuana or hemp. So maybe these things are just hemp and you go make a basket out of it or whatever you do.
Yeah, but I mean, is the only way, I guess you could do some science on it to determine whether or not it's marijuana or hemp. But
yeah, I wonder how you do that. You just do some kind of chemical.
They'll probably just destroy it. It's not like there's a shortage. It's like, oh no, we need to save the hemp.
Yeah. It's also illegal in Wisconsin, so this is why it's a big deal. Let's see. Marijuana remains illegal. Assembly Republicans introduced a bill last session that would have legalized marijuana for medical purposes, but they couldn't muster support among their state senator counterparts, and the measure never got a hearing. So
crazy.
Yeah.
Wow, I wouldn't, all right, Colorado, Washington, we were the first, right, to legalize it and make recreational okay. Wisconsin, it feels like it's it's blasphemy that Wisconsin does not have legal recreational marijuana.
Yeah, well, and not even medical. That's the weird bit. Like we
Not
even
even
have
medical.
it. Freaking
Yeah.
Utah has medical. What are you guys doing over there?
Jeez.
If
Crazy.
Utah can have it, I mean, I still think the big holdout will be when this finally all happens and everywhere it's just legal everywhere, or even at federal. Idaho will be your holdout. That will
That's
be your
going to be
place.
the 50th state. Like it's going to be, we've got 49 that have made it okay, and Idaho is the one that's.
I'm
saying,
convinced. I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty convinced. Like usually medical leads to
Yeah.
the laws just start
Recreational.
falling. Right.
Utah, I would have even guessed Utah, but I didn't know. I didn't realize that Utah had medical.
Oh yeah. We've had it for
legalized.
a while too, years. So it's
Oh.
they're getting, and every year they try to introduce, legislation to do whatever. And they have, strange alcohol laws here, so that probably means that when it happens, we'll have very strange cannabis laws.
Sure.
But
Sure.
whatever.
You'll have to be a member of a club to get recreational. That's the one thing I remember from when I went to the Salt Lake Tribune Deseret News to do installations there. That I arrived the night before. I drove past the Olympic area, and I went to a bar near the hotel. And I was actually right next door to the hotel.
Yeah.
Went to a bar and said, "Oh, I'll take a gin and tonic or whatever I was drinking at the time." And they said, "Oh, okay, here you go." And they gave me a little piece of paper and then just said, "Sign this." And I signed it and says, "Okay, you're now a member of our club here at the bar. Here's your gin and tonic."
Yeah,
That was
really dumb.
It was really, really dumb.
It's extremely dumb. That's why they don't do it anymore. That's gone now.
Yeah.
But that's all it was. The law was passed about this club thing. And so when you advertised your bar on the radio or whatever, there were things that were required. You had to say in the commercial on the air, you had to say, at somewhere in it, like in the little subtext at the end said really fast or whatever, you had to say, we are a club, not a, whatever. You had to bring up that club thing.
Yeah.
Club members only or something like that. But then the trick was, it was never anything more than you had to go in and do this formality of it was like a small town deputizing of a deputy.
Right. Yes, exactly.
Like, here, you put the star, you're a deputy, get out there. Like, that was it.
Right. Yes.
So stupid.
So it was just so in name only, or whatever the phrase is, like it's formality, I guess is the word. Right?
Yeah,
Where
they
it's
thought
just-
they were creating some sort of bar to entry. It was never that. It was just so dumb.
No.
Anyway, we'll see where we end up. Let's take a break. When we come back, my sister will be here. We're going to take on an email we actually got last week and skipped because of stuff that came up real time on the show.
It was a great.
It was great, but we're going to get to it. So that's coming up after this song from Brian. What do you have?
I have an album that I have been listening to ever since it came out last Friday. Not just the song I'm about to play for you, but the whole album.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is like your ideal combination of modern lounge, female fronted lounge band, like really, really good stuff, and not the cheesy, redundant. Here's a bossa nova version of this song that you'll find on Amazon. No, this is like some really legit, cool stuff. This is a band called La Luz, LALUZ. Brand new album is called News of the Universe. See, they're one-upping Queen. News of the world. Oh no, we're News of the Universe.
Wow.
Just came out May 24th. This is the first single from the album. It's called Puppies, Puppies, Puppies. This is La Luz from their brand new album News of the Universe.
I was just wondering if you wanted to hang out with me and smoke weed and fill our bellies with diet soda and play Burnout Revenge for the PS2.
No shit, Frank.
Do tell me who that was again.
Sure, that's a band called La Luz. Check out their entire album, News of the Universe. It is just as good as the song that you just heard, which is called Poppies. That's La Luz.
Nice. Real quick, so I'm going to play this again, and then I want to talk about it.
I was just wondering if you wanted to hang out with me and smoke weed and fill our bellies with diet soda and play Burnout Revenge for the PS2.
I cannot recommend enough the newer episodes. Well, I love the first season too, but the new episodes of Smiling Friends, the animated Adult Swim thing on Max.
Oh, never seen it.
Oh
Okay.
my gosh, that show, dude! It's
Smiling
my
Friends?
favorite
Did
thing.
I interrupt my my Archer viewing with Smiling Friends?
I mean, it is one of the weirdest cartoons, but I don't know. The sauce in it is a good sauce. I'm completely hooked on it. I liked it already. I saw it back when the first season aired, and it took forever for these new episodes to come out. Now they're finally
what the
coming
hell
out.
am I looking at? It's like a mix of
It's so
a
weird.
regular 2D animation, but then there's a couple 3D people in it, and
Yeah.
this is disturbing.
It's
All right,
very,
cool.
very
Watch it.
weird. You really absolutely should watch it. It's something else. There's my little
Wow,
side
okay.
recommendation for everybody.
I was gonna say this never came up as a recommendal. How come? Why
I don't
not,
know.
Scott?
I think the first season's old, and I think I
Oh,
just never got around to
2020.
it.
Yeah.
And these
Yeah.
just started hitting, the new ones. So anyway, can't recommend it enough. It's weird as
Wow.
shit though. If you like weird,
Yeah, no names. Oh, Nick Wolfhard. No, wait, not Nick, not Finn Wolfhard. Nick Wolfhard. How's
it's nobody you'll know. I think it's all the
Nick
creators.
Wolfhard looks just like Finn Wolfhard. Oh, I guess it's Finn Wolfhard's brother.
Oh no way, really?
Yeah, same hair.
I
Well,
didn't know that.
actually, yeah, Nick Wolfhard kind of goes further into the emo Phillips, or into the Tiny Tim look than Finn does. But,
Oh, weird. Yeah, he's look at that. That's crazy.
Yeah, never knew that person existed.
I didn't either. Yeah, this is mostly like Michael Cusack and Zach Hedel are the two creators, and they do most of the voice work.
Gotcha.
I just am completely enamored with it, and it's weird.
All right,
It's so
I gotta watch
freaking
some of
weird.
this. Yeah.
So freaking weird, but all in good
All right.
ways, in my opinion. Anyway, let's get
Cool.
Wendi on. She asked me to stall a little, so that was my
Oh,
stall.
good. That worked out perfectly then.
Yeah, little.
I didn't even know, and I did a great job of.
Yeah, you helped.
I helped with the stallage.
This is when you do a show this long, guys. This is how we know how to do it. All right, let's get into it. Here we go.
Here's another Minnesota tradition that's not so easy to throw in the garbage.
That's right. It's Wendi Dunford, my sister, joining us as she does every Thursday to do a little therapy Thursday, help you guys out with some of your problems. Wendi, welcome back.
Hi, how are you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Boy, you're just
Good.
coming right in. You answered right away.
I
Your
know.
phone's
I
good.
know.
Yeah.
Wow.
Guess what I did for this is if anyone saw me stack dice in Las Vegas, you will know
Yeah.
that I have a chaotic brain sometimes.
Yes.
And part of that chaotic brain is to never check settings.
Yeah.
And so I just decided, what if I check my settings? And of course, it's obvious what my problem has been if you just checked your settings. So
Yeah.
anyway, look at
Settings
me,
are.
growing and learning.
I'm with you though in the whole like, in this modern world, you'd think we would be things would just run now, you know, and they
Come
maybe that's why we do that or why we get madder now because for the most part things do. So when they don't, it really stands out. It's
You're
like,
like,
oh
what's
crap.
going on with this
I think there's a bit of that
automatic
going on.
craziness?
It's like the internet or power. When the power goes out, as rare as it is, I
Yeah.
feel like I've never had such anger. Well,
Right.
but then, but think about what's actually happening. And like in times of past, like when we were kids, I swear in the
Oh, all the
80s,
time.
all the time power was going out. And you never even thought about it. It's like, oh, power's out. All right. Oh, I guess we're not playing Nintendo. Let's go outside. Like, no big deal.
Right. Right.
Now it happens. You're like
What do
freaking
I
out.
do?
I know. You freak out and you're mad and you're like, I know this only happens once every decade, but damn it.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's good to have you on. And just real quick here before we even get going, the therapy show season 2 on its way. We got some planning to do, some conversations to have. I was supposed to have Wendi a big return text last night after the soccer game, and I completely forgot to do it. But anyway, we got a lot coming up.
Now live.
So we'll do it now. We'll make all our plans live. But coming soon. If you were curious where that was all sitting, we'll have some news for you very soon on all that. Cool. But this week, we're going to dive into an email that we skipped last week for a more time-based topic. And today, we're getting back to it from a guy named Worried Dad. Wendi, I'll just go ahead and read what we got here. Dear Wendi and the boys. Well, that's me and Brian.
That's right.
Yeah.
We're the boys.
I'm facing a difficult situation with my ex-wife, who seems to be influencing our children against me. They are 14, 12, and 7. Our divorce, which was finalized 3 years ago, was fairly amicable, and we share custody, although, yes, I was the one who initiated the separation. Lately, though, when they come over, I don't really engage with me, or they don't really engage with me much, and the last 2 times, the 14-year-old, a boy, has refused to come at all. I asked my ex-wife what's going on, and she said I should know why, but I don't. My youngest, a girl, told me I wasn't a good dad when I lived with them. Good Lord, I hate this. For the record, I always made sure to spend time with them growing up, putting them to bed and going to their games and practices and so forth. My wife and I separated because I didn't love her anymore. There was no affair or anything like that. It's got to be the ex saying things to them then. What do I tell her? What can I do to get my kids back? Sincerely, Worried Dad. So I have to guess this is a thing that happens a lot where one of the parents has the tendency to talk smack about the other one for all the resentments they may have. And then the kids, of course, are going to hear it. And
yeah, you're
going to pit them against each other, it feels like. And, I don't know. I don't know how common this is, Wendi, but how do you want to attack it?
Yeah, it's a crappy situation, and like you mentioned, not all that uncommon. I think, especially in my work with, I'm talking to one of the divorced parents, right? Mm-hmm. I don't think there's anyone kind of with any sort of maturity who doesn't know this is not good for kids to hear negative talk about their other parent, right?
Yeah.
But even as I'm actively working with people, they will slip up. They'll feel terrible, but they'll say something like, well, you know how your dad is, and it kind of comes out. And, usually they're pretty careful, but we are like actively monitoring this and managing those feelings so that they are not, bubbling out or stored up too much. So they come out in the wrong times, because these kids do not deserve any of that kind of behavior. And I'm going to talk a little bit about why it's dangerous for a kid. But let's just, with the email, let's just make the assumption that for some reason recently, mom's maybe engaging more in, their mom is engaging more in talking badly about dad, right? Mm-hmm. There's a totally other side that could be happening here, which I will also get into. But let's just start with, let's make that assumption, which is what the assumption of the emailer is that she must be doing something
right
behind his back that's causing some of this. I just first want to note the kids' ages.
Yeah.
So 14, 12, and 7. Did it say when they were divorced?
3 years ago. Okay. 3 years ago, yeah.
So 11 was when this kid was the oldest kid.
Yeah. They were 11, 9, and 4 during the divorce.
Yeah. And that was finalized. So we're looking at 9, 10, probably when things started, whatever. Mm-hmm. Okay. So you're looking at prime developmental years to have a major rupture in how you experience yourself and the world, right? Yeah. And so as those things tend to do, you're just looking for stability and understanding, and then whatever your brain development is at that point. This is why, kids when they're 2, 3 and their parents get divorced have very different experiences than when they're 11, 12, and 13. And sometimes even older kids will have a huge struggle, 18, 19, 20 even. You're thinking, oh, well, they're grown. It's time, Yeah. But some of this is just really about developmental stuff with an individual's identity, right? So if you think about your parents as being the mirrors of who you are, right? They're the ones that tell you who you are, if you're good, bad, loved, unloved, all that. If you're safe, if you're fed, all those things. And so you just aren't thinking that they aren't going to be together. That's not a concept a kid understands until they're exposed to it. So it may be a friend's parents get divorced, or, at some point, lots of kids' parents will be divorced, and now that's in the kid's head. He knows it exists. But there's nothing like it being your own parents, right? So here's the message. Mom and dad don't love each other anymore. That is really challenging because you see yourself, especially developmentally, as an extension of them. So 9, 10, 8 to 11, I think, is maybe the worst timing. And that's the most common timing for an oldest child, actually, with divorce. So I think it's the worst timing, and maybe because we see it the most, just because, again, that very developmental stage of like trying to figure out who you are in relationship to others, and suddenly the others you mainly interact with are splitting. So this is why it's so important that parents do not badmouth the other. Is it's super easy to alienate a child from another parent because you're giving them, especially if the one parent's following the rules and the other parent is on the slide telling you how terrible dad is and it's his fault and he tore this family apart. And because now what we do is we put a kid on the line to choose where their loyalty lies.
Yeah.
When really it's between themselves and themselves, right? They're split in half here.
Yeah.
So what you're essentially doing is saying you're bad because dad's bad without intending to, but that's the internalization. So often that occurs. And so picking the parent you need to love you, and they've showed you how to show them love. It's let's rag on dad together or be on my side. So that's a very immature parent. And even the best parents struggle to keep those lines sometime. Is this resonating with you and any experiences you guys might have?
It's funny because some of this, I've seen this in friends anyway, but some of this is a problem even without the divorce. Like it's hard to explain. It's not like they're trying to pit kids against each other, but if they're struggling in their marriage or whatever, and kids feel it, feed off of it, whatever, they don't even know they're doing it, right? The parents don't even know they're doing it. And you end up creating alliances without even trying. Maybe one kid relates to the mother more than she does the dad anyway, so that's already a thing. And then when you start doing that, then they just gravitate toward that, and then that can last almost forever, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, my parents got divorced when I was really young, maybe about a year and a half old, and my mom was always very, very careful not to badmouth my dad while I was growing up. Now, she'll do it occasionally now because I've already established my relationship with my dad, and there's not a chance that it's going to affect how I feel about him. And if anything, it's like, yeah, okay, yeah, dad does do that, kind of thing.
Right.
But no, growing up, she never badmouthed him. I think it's, she never. There's probably some jealousy or something in some situations. I don't know if that's in the emailer's situation because we're only hearing one side of things, but a parent who's maybe jealous of how much the kids look like they prefer the other parent, and so they'll do what they can to kind of poison them against them.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Yeah.
And often when like one's life is feeling pretty successful, I mean, I would ask some questions here is like, how is mom's life looking? And versus yours. So that the sort of unfairness, you left us, you left me, I'm miserable, there's not a lot of power or a sense of power. And so where do you have influence? You have influence with the kids. And it really is hitting where it would hurt your partner, your ex-partner the most. But the saddest part is really the truest victims are just the kids. Like you're saying, your mom respected the development of your relationship with your dad, gave you room to do that. That's exactly what every kid needs. They need the space to come to their own conclusions, to understand their relationship with their parent. It helps them in their own identity development as well as sort of those really core relationship developments. That's why it is so important and is so hard to do, especially when things are more complex or complicated, right? And so we don't know what her deal is or why, but let's just assume it's happening. So the question then becomes, what does he do? He knows that's not appropriate behavior. I would first say, let's check yourself. Are you doing this in any form? Have you done that in any form? And then what do we do to remedy that very common mistake? Right. So when I'm working with a client and they're like, I accidentally kind of lost it about how their dad handled this custody exchange. And it wasn't, pretty mild stuff. But they're really aware of this. Right. And so we work through, all right, where's the appropriate place to put these feelings, not the kid. Now let's actually apologize to your 11-year-old and let them know that it's not their responsibility and you apologize for putting it on their shoulders. So you can create some repair with your kids if you're aware of this. So that's what I would first check with the emailer. What is your role in this exact equation? Be honest about it, right?
Yeah.
Because it's very possible that has been happening on both ends, and kids get older and feel closer to mom or dad or for whatever reasons, and you didn't make it a very safe place to begin with. So that's what's harsh is I look at this and I think, oof, this is really tough. But I also have never met a couple where one of them is innocent 100% of the time, right? No one is perfect and the other one's making all the mistakes. And so really a look in the mirror, what's been my role here? And what is my actual relationship historically with this oldest child been? And I noticed, I'm looking at, let's see, where did it go? Oh, I always made sure to spend time with him growing up, putting them to bed and going to their games and practices and so forth. Okay.
Yeah.
So great. Good dad award, right? Also not enough to raise a child. And so you might be justifying that you have done such a good job because compared to maybe the dude you work with at work, you're a A+ dad. But that individual connection with your kids is ultimately the thing that's most important to look through. So I would walk through each of the kids and what their relationship has been like and just see where this person, if they were my client, would have actual power in connecting and what that might look like and what these kids' personalities are. So this is where we're past the point of some damage has been done. And so we would need some guidance probably if you can't figure out how to connect with the kids. Because legally you can. At 14, it depends on where you live, but for the most part, you're still obligated to spend time with the other parent.
Yeah.
Some states it's 16, some countries it's 14.
God, but do you want to flex your powers of legality to make a kid who doesn't want to spend time with you spend time with you? Yeah.
Exactly. So you'd have to figure out how to finesse that so you can have a chance to connect.
Listen, son, legally you have to spend time with me.
Exactly. Which tells you, right? Like that's out of fear or panic but not out of actual the effort to connect. So you might have to get more creative. My first clue that kind of gets me like is listing all the ways you were a good dad is like they are good things. I'm not saying they're not good things.
Of course.
But that feels like you're in justification mode and that mode is not going to get you very far. So it's okay to be there for a minute, right?
Yeah.
But then moving into where do you actually have a lot of choice and power here rather than sticking in I am powerless. Because I promise you, a 14-year-old, even though they're surly or whatever, and a 12-year-old, 7-year-old desperately want to feel safe and loved and close to their dad. I promise you that's the case. And so recognizing you actually have biology all on your side here, but maybe there's some things for you to work through and get better at so that you're able to do the connecting that it sounds like is lost. Because when kids are younger, they don't have a choice. They got to come to your house, right? They're going to do what you tell them to do. And so we're moving into more nuanced territory of older kids. That is just not how that works anymore. And so you might have to change up some ways that you're handling this. I want to ask you guys what you would say in terms of handling the ex-wife. Is there something, how would you guys think this person should approach what they suspect is happening?
This sounds hard, man. I don't know.
It does. It sounds like there's already and maybe we're reading stuff into it, but
Sure.
if he's assuming that she's influencing the kids against him, sounds like they don't have a great relationship. Fairly amicable is the words he uses, and
Sure.
I'm guessing she might not even go that.
Right, she
I wonder
wouldn't
if she
say
would
the
use
same
the same
thing.
term, but
Yeah.
you've gotta approach it. Well, again, my opinion, you approach it with kid gloves and you just very diplomatically say, hey, I noticed, oldest son doesn't want to hang out with me. Do you know what's going on? I know you say that I should know. I honestly don't, and I apologize, but what um how are they feeling about my time with them as in the house with them as their parent versus now, and what yeah, it's geez.
Go in with some humility. Oof.
Yeah, I
You
would.
go in with
Yeah.
some humility. You've gotta
Yeah, you got to try to disarm it. Like go
bend the
in.
knee.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you go in all, blazing angry,
Guns a blazing. Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
do that. Go
Right.
in there with like, I don't know, just try to diffuse it. I don't know how you do that though.
Hat in hand, and just say, what's going on.
Because she too, don't you think, no matter how frustrated you might be, you also want your kids to thrive. You
For
do.
sure, they're that is the end result. It's not necessarily about I want them to spend time with me. I want them to be okay
Yeah.
with
Right.
um
And that angle with her hat in hand kind of thing might really be a great step. If you're
Yeah,
really
yeah.
angry though, you're not going to be able to do that. Like
Yeah,
if
it'll
this
see
hits
right through
all
that.
because everybody's pain points would be hit here. There's nobody
Mhm.
who doesn't have a button that would be about like, okay, my kid doesn't want to spend time with me, and she's easy scapegoat for that rather than
Mhm.
your actual relationship with your kid. And so we gotta, you know, be pointing the finger at her first. That's natural. Hey, fine, but let's talk to a third party about that first,
Yeah, right.
and work through
I
that
was
anger.
gonna say that it doesn't sound like they did any sort of couples therapy, or else a lot of these issues might
Mm-mm.
have seen
Mhm.
daylight.
Right, right. And some of the conflict that happens when kids are younger during a separation and divorce is very different than the conflict that can happen later. So
Mhm.
it's sadly not this, the same tactics work throughout.
Mhm.
And it'd be interesting. I'm going to tell you this can't be accurate, but I'm going to say it's 100% of the time. But 100% of the time, when I meet with one partner, I will hear the stories. I will see them as, oh, wow, that is really hard what they've gone through because they're explaining themselves, right? And they're
Yeah.
explaining from their intention and their experience. And then I meet with the other partners separately. I will hear the exact same story and have the exact same feeling like, oh my gosh, this other side, whoa, that is terrible, you poor thing. And so the fact that that happens every time, I kind of love because it just proves this point that I think is accurate, which is everyone is self-justified, right? And the
Mhm.
story throughout their system, their own mind, it's typically to preserve that they're good people and they didn't mean for bad things to happen, but this other person must have created it. And so, and these are people trying to work it out, by the way.
Yeah.
So then when I get them together and everyone realizes they don't get that I'm not a referee and this isn't a boxing match, and that everyone's valid, right?
Mhm.
But we all just come from our own eyeballs, and let's see if we can find different ways to figure out these feelings. And half of them are fear and hurt, and then they express themselves as anger or loneliness and disconnection, and they express themselves as criticism or whatever it might be. So it's like a total different reframe, but it is 100% of the time I watch couples bring in similar fights, similar stories from that the other one would also relate. But man, you would think you were talking to strangers, how convincing both are that they're right. And so that's a couple trying to work it out. This is a couple absolutely split up for years now. There is no motivation to work it out except for these kids. And this is where, working through the anger, whatever else is going on for you, so you can approach her in the healthiest way would be really valuable because in essence, for the kid's sake. Right.
Right.
So I have a resource that I think is just the best. I've probably shared this before.
I love Wendi resources. They're always good.
Wendi resources.
Mhm.
It's called uptoparents.org.
Okay.
And it is basically just going to tell you all the right things to do.
You enter in your here's the
you
situation.
just write your name.
It's a flow chart. Yeah.
They'll tell you, do this, don't do this. And you know, what is they take a very child-centered best interest for child. And what I've liked about it historically is I can send two very angry parents to the same place and have them start to figure out how to do it the right way. It's just good information.
Wow. Yeah.
And this just core thing we talked about, like if you go to the webpage, it's like parent conflict is dangerous to children. Yep.
Yeah.
Commonly, parents do best for themselves when their focus is building family peace for their children. Yep. It's just true. Those two main things you're going to see.
It's like two tenets right there, basically.
Right there.
The tent poles of, yeah. Oh, that's great. Wow.
And it's got a lot of just great resources. I haven't watched the Three Sisters speak to millions of parents, but I'm guaranteeing that's probably good.
Yeah.
Because when you hear from the children themselves, it's kind of like when you hear from children who are forced to do travel sports or their parents are screaming on the sidelines, or you hear from children because parents get so caught up in their own stuff because of course it's a very complicated place to be. You're still trying to make a living. You're maybe starting new relationships. You're, you know, all the things. It's incredibly difficult. So let's not do it alone or do it with guesswork. So I think this is a great resource for anybody. And especially if your kids are younger, to just really do this early on is going to save a lot of heartache for everybody. So I would recommend that.
Yeah, this seems cool. It's also free. All this stuff is, you know, it's just a free resource. I loved the internet when it was more like this.
Jeez, no kidding.
That felt like the old days, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been around for a good while. And a client actually, I think, listens to the show. Sorry, he was the one that referenced it to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Check
and
it out.
I've used it for years and years. It's great. So
uptoparents.org is the website. It used to be called proudtoparent.org, but they changed it.
You're looking at something else. I have uptoparents.org.
No, I know, but it used to. I'm just saying that.
Oh, I see what you're saying. It used to be proudtoparent.org.
Yeah. Used to be that. I don't know what changed or why they changed it, but they did. Proud is a weird word, so maybe that was it.
Yeah, like
I think
this name
we
is
stopped
far
using
better.
it. Yeah.
I like that better. Cool. Yeah, go check that out. And listener, when you hear this, let us know what you think. I don't know. I just feel like I'm kind of aligned with Brian on this and on the approach. Like, just humility is hard to find when you're in a conflict, especially when it's your own kids and you're worried about them being pitched against you, and you're gonna want to go in there with emotions. But I don't know. Maybe the best way to disarm it is to go in there without them and just be willing to listen.
And I'm
going to
say something really controversial real quick to end this. Sorry.
Go ahead, please.
Is that you owe them this?
What? I can't believe you said that.
What?
Oh my gosh.
No.
I'm hanging up on Wendi.
Hey, listen, it's not your fault. You stopped loving your wife. Maybe you never did. Maybe there's other issues there. I don't know any of the story to have any reason to say that. Other than that happens, it does happen. But the person, and this is why I'm saying this, because it's to show you how much power, if you can let go of the pride of this, what I just said, and actually recognize it as the influence that you do have, but you owe them to work hard so that your kids are okay, because you made the decision to create the situation that occurs now. Now, you staying and being miserable, probably not a great choice either, right? So I'm not saying you had, you know, you haven't made a wrong choice, but what I am saying is you did make the choice, and that it will create an inequality kind of forever in some of these things. So if you could just kind of own a little bit of like, yeah, I can do this, right? And for them, and, you know, give her a little credit for managing life being left, right? That's hard to do. I know it might take you being a bigger person than you are, but try.
Yeah.
So if we get an email back that I'm
do it for the kids.
Do it for
the
the children.
Curious to hear how this goes, and if he's able to hear and understand how the kids are perceiving it, and maybe it's not coming from the mom at all. Maybe the kids, you know, have misunderstood something he did, or he's misremembering something that he did or didn't do.
He's also the one, and we know whether it was for good reasons or not, he will always be the one that initiated the breakup.
Yeah.
He's said as much in his email. I fell out of love with her. I didn't want to, I initiated it.
Yeah.
Well, they're always going to see you as the initiator, and I think that's enough to create some of those divides.
Yes.
They're going to resent it.
The onus will be on you to do some work that the ex-wife will never have to do. And so when couples can say it's mutual, kids are very confused by that. And kids will often have fantasies their parents will get back together. Like there's a lot of complicated stuff that can occur, but the mutual decision usually sort of equalizes or clarifies some things. But when one leaves another, kids will harbor that for a long, long time and struggle with lots of different things for that fact, right? So this is just facts. This isn't a judgment or anything like that. It's more like, okay, well, as this person who plays this role, I might need to step up and do more than ride on the coattails that I put the kids to bed and went to their games. There's more parenting to do. And, when I work with adults in their 30s and 40s, as we are talking about healing from childhood stuff, a huge portion of it is just parents' immaturity, and their skills emotionally that just weren't there. And sometimes that's really hard when those parents do eventually develop emotionally more mature skills. They're like, but my parents are so great now, but I have these wounds. I don't get it. And it's because we got to, work on what hurt you then, even though they have changed, which is great. And then the hardest one is when the parents never change and never grow. So be different and grow and mature and do some work here. And I think you'll reap the benefit with real relationships with these kids as they go forward, because 4 years from now, that kid doesn't have to ever talk to you again.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's terrifying to all of us. And when we're afraid, we maybe don't behave the best.
Oh yeah.
And so to really work on working with the fear and understanding what it's trying to tell you. And
fear's a real poo-poo head, it turns out. Fear is
turns out.
Yeah, turns out fear can make you do stuff you wouldn't do otherwise.
It's the mind killer, I hear.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Someplace.
Yeah,
well, Wendi, this is great. I'll we'll see what kind of follow up we get from him, and like I said, we'll keep you guys informed on what's going on with the show. Anything you want to say about Be Better You at the moment and plans?
No better
you.
I meant no better you.
Wish it was Be Better, but Be Better.
We tried.
$10,000.
Yeah. That was a URL squat to remember for sure.
Holy cow. Yeah. People are weird. No, it's good. We are planning and building, and it's going to be really fun. So I'll let you know as things get a little more spicy. And in the meantime, feel free to, if anyone wants to throw in their 2 cents, I have a little a survey they can fill out.
Yep.
And that would be great.
Yep.
I'll send that to you and stick it in the thing.
Yep. We're also looking for, we didn't really ask for it explicitly, but if you guys want to weigh in on the kind of topics you want to hear on the Therapy Show Season 2, we're taking suggestions, or just, what do you think is a meaningful thing in your life? And that may help us shape the kind of topics we hit. So keep those coming as well. You can send those to themorningstream@gmail.com. Yeah. Sorry, Brian, what were you going to say?
Oh, I was just going to say, bigger stuff that's way bigger than can be discussed in the 30 minutes that we've got here with Wendi.
Oh, yeah. We're going to go deep. So keep that stuff coming, Wendi. I hope you have a fantastic week. Truly. We'll see you later. I talked to Wendi a lot we usually don't, like week to week, it's usually Thursdays that I talk to Wendi, but because of my mom stuff, it's like been kind of constant.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, you probably,
She's probably sick of us by now. That's my guess. But my mom's doing good. She's on oxygen and her levels are good, and she's at home, and John's now has a cough. So hopefully that doesn't turn into what she had. All right, let's get out of here. Before we do, remind people again, Coverville today, noon.
Lenny Kravitz today, 12 noon, Mountain Time, twitch.tv/Coverville. Couple sets. It'll be a slightly shorter show because I've got to get downtown for a meeting, but it's all the best stuff. Like I didn't have to I didn't have to leave anything on the table. This is all the good stuff. So noon, twitch.tv/Coverville for that.
Check it out.
No Guess the Connection tomorrow because we're play dating.
That's right. Play date tomorrow, 9 a.m. We'll go from 9 to 11 Mountain Time. If you would like to come play in the play date, it's not exclusive to patrons, although they will get first seats in the games we play. But come watch. It's all open to everybody. So check it out. That's at frogpants.tv. You can choose either Twitch or YouTube. Doesn't matter where you watch it. And we'll be doing that tomorrow, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Don't know what we're playing yet. Probably a combination of things. Do a little Jackbox. Do a little Among Us, maybe. It's been a while since we've Amonged Us. So come see what we do. That'll be tomorrow at 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Mountain Time. And if you're looking for all the rest of the schedule, like Core tonight, other stuff this weekend, Film Sack, all that, you'll find it at frogpants.com/schedule. It's going to do it for us. Brian, let's play a song and get the F out.
You bet. Jonathan wrote in and said, "Hey there, Snowball and Brain. My best friend and ex-wife Tiffany is turning 35 on May 30th. Hey, that's today. In celebration, I'd like to request an upbeat cover of the Jefferson Starship anti-masterpiece. Disasterpiece is what I would call it. We built this city. Yes, it's an awful cheeseball of a song, a shining example of why design by committee is generally a horrible idea. We hold these truths to be self-evident. But she loves the over-the-top schlock of it all and lights up whenever it comes across the speakers. If you can't get on May 30th anytime after that is fine. She genuinely loves late birthday presents." Then they go on to say, "Tiffany, after all that, here we are and here we'll be. Happy birthday. I love you so much. Mises forever. Love the show, though. Very, very fine show. The best show, frankly. A lot of people tell me. They did request that for me to say it like that.
All right, good.
Jonathan in Savannah, extra lettuce in Discord and social. P.S. Can we test the ship's phasms and have some random Daryl clips?"
Yes, so phasers first. Here.
Let's test the ship's phasers.
And then to get random Daryl, let's see. Let me just pull up his name and let's just choose this one.
Chocomatic choker.
All right. That was random.
I've heard that one.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
That was his old, like when he was a teenager, recordings or whatever.
With the tape deck. Oh my God, too funny.
I think it's the one where he barf noises.
I can barf and talk at the same time. Yeah.
That's horrifying.
Ugh,
Why was he ever?
horrendous.
Why was he allowed to do it? I don't know.
Man, and why
Anyway.
why save that recording?
I keep everything, man. I try to.
Yeah, that's true. There's some stuff that I wish I still had that I recorded as a kid when I was like thinking, "Oh, I'm going to become a DJ. Here's my tape of doing DJ stuff."
Do you want to hear the oldest Ibit clip I have that has your name on it?
Yeah.
Let's see.
It's probably from when I was on ELR, right?
Yeah. I'm trying to think of it. I don't know if I pulled a clip from any of that though. Let's see. It's not giving. Oh, I have to do it. Okay. Here we go.
I need to go back and listen to that first episode where you had me on ELR and I talked to you guys for the first time. That just would have been crazy.
I don't think this is this old, but I'll play it.
Okay.
This is the wrong thing.
No, that's not you at all.
Yeah, that's definitely not me, but thank you for.
Yeah, here we go.
Can I buy it?
That one.
Can I buy it?
I don't know what. I don't know what you're even saying.
Can I buy it?
I don't know either. Can I buy out? I don't even know what I'm saying there. It's more. It's worse than let's take a selfie. Like, as far as like fast talking.
Yesterday we played. It was for J.K. Grammar. Wanted to hear it. Let's see if I can find that Ken Kratz thing.
Video.
Yeah, it's right here.
I have all those. I have about a dozen of those on my phone still that come up every once in a while.
I only have the one here.
Why don't you come over and I'll overrule your objections?
Half of it is the fact that video, that weird app that let you put your mouth on people's faces.
Right.
That was.
Right.
I don't remember what that was.
God.
Anyway, good times. Well, happy birthday to your 35-year-old friend, person.
No kidding. Yeah, Jonathan. Well, let's get a request out to them right now. This is a cover of "We Built This City," but it's a good one. This is a band called the Excerts. It's spelled like X-Certs.
Oh.
Retin.
Oh, okay. So X,
Certs,
like you used to be a fan of the Certs,
no,
but now
like
you're...
X is in used to be Twitter.
Oh, that kind of X. I hate that X.
That kind of X.
Yeah.
Certs. Yeah. the exerts.
Yeah.
This is from an album called So No One Told You Life Was Gonna Be This Way. Guess what other song they do a cover of on this 2020 album?
Shocked.
They do this cover of Starship's We Built This City. Going out to Jonathan and Tiffany. Here is We Built This City.
This show is part of the Frog Pants Network. Yes. Get more at frogpants.com.
Doodly D squat.
Doodly D squat.